Hi guys, so for today's video I thought I would do a video showing you what I eat in a week as a vegan. Throughout my vegan life I've constantly had people raise concerns about me lacking in options or maybe not getting all the right nutrients, and I'm experiencing this even more so now that I'm pregnant. So yeah, I'm basically going to be filming throughout this week, showing you what I eat on a daily basis, showing you what kind of foods I eat and where I get my nutrients from. If you're vegan or you're a pregnant vegan, or if you're just curious as to what vegans eat, then enjoy watching this video and yeah, let's get into it. So for my breakfast this morning, I'm going to have some porridge oats. So I'm just pouring the oats into the bowl and I'm going to add some chia seeds as they have lots of nutrients, and then I'm going to add some soy milk. I give it a nice mix and then I put it into the microwave for 2 minutes. So now I am making my coffee. I put a big old scoop of coffee in there with 2 sugars. So I like to fill up my coffee around 3/4 of the way full with the water, so then I have the rest left for the milk. And I use the Oatly Oat Barista milk. I give it a good shake so then it gets frothy when you pour it in. Now that my oats are done, I'm just adding in some broken banana bits and some blueberries. I also like to add in some sunflower and pumpkin seeds. Again, seeds are really nutritious, they've got lots of protein and everything that you need, so I add them in, and some maple syrup for sweetness. So these are my Pregnacare pregnancy vitamins. I take these once a day, every day. They actually have nothing to do with the fact that I'm vegan. Every pregnant woman has to take their vitamins. It's just folic acid and lots of other nutrients that baby needs to grow nice and healthy. In between meals I like to have some snacks to keep me going, so here I've got some roasted salted corn, pistachios, some other mixed nuts, and my all-time favourite right now is the Haribo giant straws. This is Manny giving me some water. I always like to have a large glass of water with me at all times. And this is him definitely trying to not distract me whilst I'm working. By the way, I did his hair today, so let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm quite proud of it, to be honest. So for my lunch today, I'm going to have a baguette. As you can see, this baguette is seeded, which was definitely intentional. For butter, I'm using some vegan butter, which is the I can't believe it's not butter. I'm also using the corn vegan ham slices. Today I'm having a ham, cheese and pickle baguette, which is a sandwich filler that my mum used to use a lot when I was a kid. Since I've been pregnant, I've been craving a lot of the foods I used to eat growing up. Obviously I've had to veganise a lot of them, but trust me, it's still just as good. Here I'm using my all-time favourite cheese. This is the Violife Epic Mature. And here I am adding in the Branston pickle. Moving on from this, I'm going to make a smoothie. I'm having a summer fruit smoothie today. In this pack there is frozen strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, red currants, black currants, and of course I'm going to add in some seeds. So here I've got some hemp seeds and some chia seeds. I'm also going to add in some lemon juice and some maple syrup for sweetness. Lastly, I'm adding in some soy milk so then we can blend it all up. So now I'm going to start preparing my dinner. Today I'm making a roast dinner. It's not something I would normally make because it takes quite a long time, but we have a guest today so I'm putting in the effort. So first thing is I'm going to cut up some potatoes and parboil them in some salt and boiling water. I leave them for about 15 minutes whilst I prep the rest. So now I'm going to prepare the oil that the potatoes are going to roast in. So I'm just putting some olive oil, and to this I'm going to add some fresh garlic and some veggie stock paste. This paste tastes pretty much like Marmite, and you probably could and should use Marmite for this recipe. I just needed to use this up as it's been sitting in the house for ages. I'm also going to add some thyme and rosemary. and some pink Himalayan salt before leaving it to preheat in the oven at 200 degrees whilst I prep the rest. So here I'm just chopping up some veggies. I've got some fresh asparagus and some carrots. I'm just going to trim the carrots before I start chopping them up. Once my potatoes are nicely parboiled, I put them in a big bowl with some salt, some flour and some black pepper. I then place a plate on top of the bowl and I shake it as hard as I can to get everything combined and to make the potatoes fluffy. I then give my preheated oil a good mix before I add in the potatoes. I then mix the potatoes in the oil to make sure everything is nicely covered. I then put these into the oven at 200 degrees for 1 hour, and I also put in my vegan roast at this point too. For my veggies, I put them in some foil. I added some olive oil, pink Himalayan salt, thyme and black pepper. I then put this into the oven for about 30 minutes. This is my homemade vegan gravy. I actually pre-made this the day before yesterday and it kept in the fridge. I will put the recipe to this in the description because it is honestly the best gravy in the world. So once all of that is prepped, I did some cleaning up and I had a big glass of water and I relaxed for a bit whilst everything was cooking in the oven. So I used the Linda McCartney chicken roast. It was my first time trying this and it's actually really nice. We served this all up on our plates and we enjoyed. So it's the next day and for my breakfast this morning I'm going to have some vegan Nutella or chocolate spread on toast. I like to top this off with of course some seeds, so I've got some pumpkin and sunflower seeds here, and I had this with a coffee which I showed you yesterday how I make it. And now I am ready to start my day studying. You know that it is serious when you're working on 2 laptops at a time. So for my lunch I'm gonna make a toasted sandwich. So here I'm just chopping up some cucumber, some tomatoes and some spring onion. For my cheese today I'm gonna use the Violeth smoky cheddar. And all of this is going to be on a panini bread, which I've just toasted in the oven so it's nice and hot. Now I'm just adding in some of the leftover roast from last night's dinner with some squeaky bean salami style slices. I then put this under the grill to toast for a little while. And then I add in the veggies. For my sauce, I'm going to use some sweet chili sauce and also some spicy sriracha. I had my sandwich with some crisps and an Alpro chocolate mousse and a glass of water. For my snacks today, whilst I'm studying, I have some mixed nuts and some Haribo straws. And moving swiftly on to my dinner, I'm having a vegan steak bake with the leftover roast potatoes from last night's dinner and some steamed veggies. Most days, Manny finishes work around 11 PM, so tonight for me it's dinner for 1. So it is now day 3 and for my breakfast today I'm going to have a brunch as I'm eating late after studying this morning and losing track of time. So here I am just chopping up some tomatoes and some mushrooms and I'm going to fry these all in a pan with these vegan Richmond sausages. I'm going to add in some salt, some pepper, some garlic granules, some soy sauce for the mushrooms and some dried chives. So to make sure everything's combined, I give that a quick mix, and with my breakfast today I'm going to have a pita bread, so I just toasted that, and now I'm going to add some silken tofu to the pan, which is going to be my vegan scrambled eggs. I added some turmeric and some Himalayan black salt. If you've never tried this salt before, it tastes just like eggs, it's really weird. And I also added some dried garlic granules, some chives and black pepper, and allowed that to cook. To top off my breakfast, I added a little bit of maple syrup, some chives and some sesame seeds. With this I had some tomato ketchup and a coffee. Although I could definitely eat this with a knife and fork, I've kind of taken after Mani a little bit, as in Sri Lankan culture it's really common to eat with your hands, so whenever I'm around any kind of flatbread, this is how I prefer to eat. For a quick snack, I'm going to cut up some mango and have a large glass of water. I've had a very busy morning studying and doing some spring cleaning, so it was nice to finally sit down and have this. So for my dinner tonight, I'm going to make some roasted sweet potato with beans and salad. So I'm just preheating my oven here, and I'm going to chop my sweet potatoes in half. I'm then going to drizzle them with some olive oil and sprinkle with salt and pepper. I'm going to leave these to roast in the oven at 200 degrees for about 35 minutes whilst I prep the rest. So into a pan, I'm going to put some tomato passata, some veggie stock paste, some Italian herbs and some water. I'm going to leave that to simmer whilst I chop my salad. For my salad, I'm chopping up some lettuce, some parsley, some tomatoes and cucumber. Before I put my cannellini beans into the pan, I've just given them a quick wash and drain. So I've put all of my salad into a bowl. I'm going to add some extra virgin olive oil and balsamic glaze and give it a mix. Once my bean mixture had thickened up and my potatoes were done, I served up on a plate with some pumpkin seeds and enjoyed. So it is now day 4, and for my breakfast today I'm going to have a smoothie, which I showed you on day 1 how I make. And for my lunch I'm going to have some noodles. So I've just put these into the pan with their little flavour sachet, with some boiling water, some salt, black pepper, garlic granules, a little bit of lemon juice and some soy sauce. I'm now going to grate up a couple of carrots and chop some spring onions. To serve, I just put the noodles in a bowl with a bit of sesame oil. I then top it off with the veggies, some chili flakes and some sesame seeds. Later on I had a cup of tea, 1 sugar and some soy milk. I actually didn't have any snacks today, so I had a sandwich to keep me going and some dark chocolate. For dinner today I'm going to make a curry, so I'm going to wash my rice first. I'm now going to add some turmeric, some lemon juice and some salt and leave it in the rice cooker to cook whilst I do the rest. I'm now cutting up some butternut squash, which I drizzled with olive oil and sprinkled with salt and pepper. Put it in the oven at 200 degrees for 30 minutes whilst I do the rest. I'm chopping up some onions, garlic and some green chilli. I'm going to fry this in a pan with some olive oil with some chili flakes, some ginger paste, some curry leaves, cumin and some curry powder. Then adding in my lentils with some turmeric. Once this is cooked down a bit, I added some water and some coconut milk and left it simmer whilst I started cooking the kale fry. So here I'm chopping up some tomatoes and I'm going to fry some onions and garlic, curry leaves, chili flakes and turmeric in some olive oil. I'm then going to add some fenugreek seeds with the kale and tomatoes. I've added some salt and pepper to each of the curries and some curry powder to the kale. I then added in the butternut squash from the oven, gave everything a mix and a taste, and it was ready to serve. When eating Sri Lankan food, I like to honour it by eating the traditional way, which I mentioned before is eating with your hand, and trust me, for some reason it just makes it taste better. So it is now day 5 and I'm making a breakfast sandwich this morning. So I've just made some scrambled tofu, how I showed you in day 3, except I added some nutritional yeast, which is really nutritious and adds a nice cheesy flavour, and some chilli flakes for an extra kick. I then buttered my bread and I cooked my vegan Richmond sausages in the oven for 18 minutes. I cut them in half to put onto the bread and assembled everything with some epic mature Life cheese and tomato ketchup. I had all of this with a coffee and I enjoyed. For my lunch, I'm going to have some dumplings. So these are the Itsu teriyaki vegan chicken dumplings. So I just steamed these for 8 minutes. I then made a dipping sauce with some soy sauce, vinegar, chili flakes and sesame seeds. Once they're done cooking, I served up on a plate with some chopped spring onion and enjoyed. For some snacks, I had some salted roasted corn, pistachios and cashews, and for my dinner tonight I'm making burgers, so I'm just chopping up some potatoes into wedges. I drizzled my wedges in olive oil and seasoned with salt, pepper, garlic granules and chives and gave them a mix. I used the Linda McCartney pulled pork burgers today and I put all of this in the oven for 30 minutes at 200 degrees. So now I'm going to make the sauce for my burgers. I'm going to use some vegan mayo, lemon juice, garlic granules and peri peri seasoning and give it a mix. Now I'm just peeling and chopping up some avocado, tomatoes, the burger buns and some Life Epic Mature cheese. 10 minutes before we take everything out of the oven, I just brush on some barbecue sauce to the burgers and add on the cheese to melt. Now that I've toasted my buns, I'm going to add on the sauce that I made with some mixed leaf salad, chopped onions, tomatoes, the cooked burgers and some avocado on top. I also added some jam to the top of the bun and it's all ready to serve. It is now day 6 and I'm having granola for breakfast, so I've just added some to a bowl with some soy milk and put it into the microwave for 1 minute. I added some maple syrup, sunflower and pumpkin seeds and I had this with a coffee. For my lunch I had a ham, cheese and pickled baguette, which I showed you in day 1 how I make, with some prawn cocktail crisps and a banana. For a snack today I had a grapefruit. So as it is the weekend and Manny is home from work, I'm going to make Kottu tonight, which is a very famous Sri Lankan dish. I'm using jackfruit as my meat replacement, so I'm just washing and squeezing out the brine and leaving to marinate in some turmeric and salt whilst I prep the rest. I've just chopped up some onions and grated some ginger and garlic, and I'm going to fry in a pan with some olive oil, cinnamon sticks, turmeric, chili powder, pepper, coriander and curry leaves. Once this is fragrant, I add in the jackfruit and give it a mix and let it cook down for a bit before adding in some water and coconut milk and leaving to simmer whilst I prep the rest. Now I'm chopping up some onions, leek, carrots, tomatoes and spring onion. I'm going to fry all of this in a wok with some olive oil and some scrambled tofu, which I had already prepped, how I've shown you before, and I'm adding some chili powder, chili flakes, Himalayan black salt for that extra eggy flavour and some black pepper, and I've left to cook down for a bit, stirring occasionally. Meanwhile, Manny has been cutting up some roti for me into small squares, and the curry is ready as the sauce has thickened and the jackfruit is soft, so I'm just saving some for the side for topping, and I'm adding in the roti into the wok and I'm giving it a good mix before adding in the curry and then mixing with 2 spoons to combine. Once everything was nicely combined, we served up on a plate and topped off with the leftover curry and we enjoyed. So it is now the last day and we are making pancakes for breakfast, so I'm adding some flour, baking powder, sugar, maple syrup and oat milk into a bowl and give it a good whisk. I then fry the batter in a pan with some olive oil. Once I see those little holes forming in the top of the pancake, I give it a flip and cook for a bit on the other side. Now I'm just grinding up some cloves and cardamom and removing the cardamom skins. Now into a pan I'm going to cook down some chopped jaggery, sugar, grated coconut and the ground cloves and cardamom, and add some coconut milk and cook down till it's nice and sticky. This is a sweet traditional Sri Lankan dish called Pani Pol, which we serve with our pancakes. We also served our pancakes with some lemon juice and sugar, which is the traditional English way. For my lunch, I had a mixed leaf salad with some cucumber, celery and spring onion. Drizzled this with some extra virgin olive oil and sprinkled on some salt and pepper and gave it a mix. I served this with some of the leftover kottu from last night's dinner. And for a snack today, I had some fresh raspberries. As it's the end of the week and I've been studying hard all week, I thought I would treat myself by ordering some Domino's pizza. So I got the vegan veggie supreme and some vegan chicken nuggets. Now, I really used to love the Domino's cookies, but unfortunately they're not vegan, so now I have to improvise. These Deliciously Ella oven-baked cookies are honestly the best thing ever. They're so delicious and they're vegan, and to be honest, I think they're better than the Domino's cookies. I shared all of this with Manny and we enjoyed. And this is the end of the video, guys. I just wanted to finish off this video quickly by saying that as I'm pregnant, I do have blood tests regularly, and every time I've passed with flying colours, I feel like I don't just survive on a vegan diet, but I thrive. And I'm so passionate about my vegan lifestyle. I'm definitely open to any questions that you guys might have. You can put them in the comments below. But I will be making another video on veganism and why I'm vegan and stuff like that at some point. But my main argument is when you can have good, tasty, nutritious, easy and affordable food, like how I've shown you throughout this video, without the harm, suffering and exploitation of other living beings, then why not be vegan? So if you liked this video, then give it a thumbs up. Comment below your thoughts. If you don't know me, I upload every Friday. If you want to see my face on your screens every Friday night, then hit that subscribe button. And I will see you next week. Bye!